Our client fractured their right distal radius after slipping and falling on the wet track. After undergoing surgery to stabilize the fracture, using a volar plate and screws, the surgeon has ordered a gauntlet-style orthosis. A gauntlet-style orthosis, also called a circumferential orthosis, creates complete immobilization of the wrist. It encompasses both volar and dorsal surfaces of the forearm. It is extremely supportive and strong, which allows for excellent fracture stabilization and post-operative protection. This orthosis is known for its easy donning and doffing due to the opening on the ulnar side. A study was completed to compare the effectiveness of a custom wrist orthosis to the traditional circumferential hard cast in children. This study found that there was no difference in pain between the two casts. It found that the removable cast allowed for more function while wearing, as opposed to the hard cast. The parents in the study preferred the soft cast due to no required follow-up visit, the waterproof quality of the soft cast, and no exposure to the plaster saw. This study showed the effectiveness in healing, patient satisfaction, and time to return to an activity with the use of the removable orthosis.
To create the gauntlet-style orthosis, we are using Orfit NS in 1/12-inch thick, microperforated thermoplastic material with minimum to moderate rigidity, non-stick coating, and memory. Using microperforated thermoplastic material helps minimize the weight or bulkiness of the orthosis, which allows for more comfort in a circumferential design. The material should have a minimum to moderate resistance to stretch and moderate conformability, allowing the material to conform around the forearm muscles and hand arches well. The non-stick coating is helpful when molding the orthosis. Using a square sheet of thermoplastic material that is large enough to extend from the distal palmar crease to 2/3 length of the forearm. The width should be large enough to encompass the wrist and forearm. A good rule of measure is a minimum of 2 times the width of the forearm. Using a wax pencil, create a circle on the center of the distal end of the material, approximately 2 inches from the distal edge. This is the thumb hole. Once cut, activate only the top of the material with the circle. Then, use a finger to push up from the bottom of the material where the circle is located. Then use your scissors to cut off the tip. Finally, use your fingers to open the thumb hole. In preparation for molding the orthosis, the client should be placed in neutral position with their wrist in 10 degrees of extension. This alignment will prevent shortening of muscles and tendons in the event of changes in muscle tone.
Before molding the orthosis, make sure the temperature is not hot by placing the material on the skin of the forearm and asking of the client if it is too hot. Place the client's thumb through the hole as seen, and stretch the material around the forearm to the ulnar side. Starting at the wrist level, pinch the corners together to lock the material in place. You should pinch slightly with the fingertips on the ulnar border of the wrist and the forearm. Firmly stretch the material around the forearm and add extra pinches as needed, mainly along the distal and proximal forearm to the distal palmar crease. After the orthosis returns to its original color, it is sufficiently hardened to begin opening. If the pinch side is prematurely open, the material will stretch and possibly tear while changing the shape. Trim away all the excess material from the pinches and make sure the opening is in a straight line. Lastly, clean and flare the proximal and distal edges.
Checking the fit. Once your orthosis is molded, be sure to check the fit on the client. Make sure the thenar eminence is fully cleared. Check to make sure the distal palmar crease is clear. Check to make sure the client can oppose to the middle long finger.
After changes are made to the orthosis, it is now time for strapping. To begin the strapping process, cut out 3 Velcro straps for the proximal, at the wrist, and distal portions. Make sure to round the edges of the straps and hooks to avoid any pressure areas. Next, cut out the Velcro hooks to place on the orthosis to align with the straps. With the Velcro hooks, Heat up the sticky part with the heat gun with the scissors to ensure the hooks do not come off with donning and doffing of the straps. Place the hooks proximally at the wrist and distally on the orthosis as shown. Place the bottom hooks at a 45-degree angle to ensure it follows the natural curvature of the forearm. After applying the hooks, it is now time to apply the Velcro straps to check the fit. Trim straps if necessary.
After client has learned how to appropriately wear and strap orthosis independently, wearing the orthosis full-time is recommended with the exception of engaging in activities such as bathing or light range of motion exercises. After the fracture is healed, wearing the orthosis at night is recommended as an added precaution. The client should also be instructed on cleaning and caring for the orthosis. Do clean the orthosis using alcohol or sterilizing wipes, hand wash with warm water and soap, or utilize a garment bag to place in the washing machine.
Do not place in the washing machine on high or the dishwasher.
Do contact your OT in the event of deformation or discomfort.
Do not leave orthosis in locations of extreme heat, or do not leave in reach of your pets, as it may become a chew toy.